Welcome to the Roll for Combat Actual Play podcast, where our intrepid adventurers are playing through the Pathfinder adventure, The Fall of Plaguestone. Join us every week as our daring adventurers face treacherous monsters and deadly obstacles on their quest to save a town from utter destruction. Lead on, listener. Your quest awaits.
Hey everyone, welcome to Roll for Combat Pathfinder Edition, where we are going to be playing The Fall of Plaguestone. And we have a new cadre of players. That's right, those of you who listen to our Roll for Combat Dead Sons adventure, you'll recognize a few of the players, but we've brought a few new people into the fold. For those of you who don't know, I am Stephen Glicker. I am the GM of the Roll for Combat Dead Sons adventure path that we've been playing for about 2 years. For those of you who want to know a little bit more about me, a real quick bio. I've been playing role-playing games for about 43 years, something like that, since the 70s. Was brought up on D&D First Edition, and I've played ever since. I also have a little bit of experience in the game industry. I've developed for Goodman Games, and most recently I've been developing for Paizo, for Starfinder, and even did some stuff for Pathfinder 2nd Edition for the next adventure path. But with that, let's see who else is joining us. Jason, you want to take it away?
Sure. I hate to kill the buzz of the new people by going with the old people, but I'm Jason Mcdonald, and you will probably recognize me as the same Jason McDonald who plays Tuttle Blacktail on the Starfinder Dead Sons podcast that we do. Like Steve, I am a longtime gamer back to my childhood, playing AD&D, Top Secret, even the random game of Boot Hill here and there. Been playing with Steve and his group, for about 6 or 7 years, I guess, that we've been doing this. Though, of course, obviously, we've only been doing the show for 2 years. So that's me.
You get to wait. Vanessa is up next.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Hoskins. I've been playing D20 games since college and plenty of Final Fantasy and other computerized role-playing games before that. And I am a freelancer for Paizo for both their Starfinder and Pathfinder line, as well as third-party publishers that support those games. And I've written adventures for both the Pathfinder and Starfinder organized play systems. Finally, I am a No Direction member and blogger, and I write a blog all about how to make your own adventures.
Well, now Rob can go.
I don't wanna.
Okay.
Fine, I'll do it. Hello, Rob Tremarco here. I've been a guest on a few episodes here of Roll for Combat, and like the ancients of Steve and Jason, I too have been playing role-playing games since the early days. From D&D to Champions to everything else under the sun, including all the new stuff that's out these days. And I'm excited for Pathfinder 2E.
And finally, we have our tank commander, Lauren.
Yes, I am Lauren. Myself and Vanessa were invited here, thanks to Steve, which we are very happy to be on the show, from No Direction. I play in Adventurous, where you can listen to my character, Lily, who is not a murderer who poisons people with baked goods. Don't try and say she is. I also play Sam Hammage, the outlaw for hire, in our Stellar podcast. And I write the Dear Dova Queen advice column. I'm pretty sure I'm the only Pathfinder advice column in a Dear Abby style. And finally, I just started our new show, Bend the Knee. I've been doing the advice column for 4 years, where people ask me questions, and bend the knee, the tables are turned. I'm asking the questions, and I get 3 illustrious guests to give me a fun response to something like, which magic item would you want in real life?
Cool. So with that, I'm going to give you guys an introductory of what we're doing. We are going to be playing The Fall of Plaguestone, an adventure written by Jason Bowman. And for those of you who don't know, this module is kind of a mini module, a mini adventure, if you will. It's about maybe the same size as a single adventure path module, maybe a little bit bigger. It should take our characters from first level to third or fourth level. I haven't done the math. I think it's fourth level. So we'll see the characters grow and change. But the nice thing about this adventure is that we're going to get to play it try out the new rule system, see what shakes out, and also get an idea of what it's like so that if we do a more ambitious adventure, like an adventure path, I kind of want to be prepared before I jump into a 2-year excursion of a brand new adventure path. So I felt a mid to smaller size adventure would be good. Something like a society thing, I think it's way too small. A society adventure is like only 5 hours. This should top around 30 to 40 hours. And that way you could also listen to the whole thing without having to dedicate 2 years of your life to just one podcast. And obviously people want to mix it up. The other thing is, I also like this adventure. Jason is one of my favorite writers, and he doesn't disappoint. I've read this adventure several times, gone through it. This adventure is a nice mix of combat and social situations. So for those of you who are interested in knowing how Pathfinder 2nd Edition works, you'll get to see the rules in play in multiple ways. You'll get to see a little bit of everything. And we also have a nice mix of characters, and we even have some people that might be able to craft. So hopefully we get to try out all the rules, so we'll get to play not just the game as gamers, but also explore the new rule set of Pathfinder 2nd Edition and see how it's different. And that being said, you'll probably hear us actually talk about the rules right on the game because it just came out. It's brand new. Yeah, we read the rules a couple of times, but this is the first public playing of the 2nd Edition rules outside PaizoCon that I have done, as well as probably everyone else sitting around this table right now. So with that, let's start the adventure, shall we? The adventure begins as a caravan travels south by southeast from Edondale, the capital of Isger, to Almas, the capital of Andorian, on a road between the Aspodel Mountains and the Five Kings Range. There are faster and easier routes south, but those seeking to avoid Cheliax, this is the safest. Bort Bragith, a dwarf trader from the Five King Mountains, is welcome in many settlements for his fair prices and gregarious spirit, and has been using this route for years. The caravan consists of 6 covered wagons, 4 of which are laden with supplies, trade goods, and trinkets. Bort makes his home in the lead wagon, with the cabin built into the back, while the final wagon is for the passengers and the cook, our PCs. It's been 3 days since you left Ildir, climbing into the back of one of Bort's wagons, bound for the faraway Andorian capital of Almas. The smiling caravan master cut your travel costs to only a handful of coppers, so as long as you promise to protect the wagons should any trouble arise. Fortunately, your journey through the hinterlands of Isger has been quiet, even if the ride itself has been far from comfortable. As you broke camp this morning, Bort announced that you should arrive in the town of Etran's Folly by nightfall, and he promised a comfortable bed for the night as a reward for a long day's travel. The caravan's team masters started to chuckle between them, trading knowing glances and subtle nods, but soon enough you were on the road again, the wagon bouncing and creaking along the uneven trail. At this point, maybe you should go around and introduce yourselves and explain who is in this caravan traveling south.
Celes speaks up. She looks out of the wagon that she's in. Master Barkith, is it always going to be this bumpy?
Vanessa Hoskins is playing Celes Karvasalon, the human angelic sorcerer.
Oh, this is nothing. Wait until you see when we go through the mud fields. I hope you brought some change of clothes.
Only the one set. Celes gathers her thick robes up around her, trying to keep him off of her nice gleaming white outfit.
Cade will chuckle a little bit, and your fancy robes may not agree with some of the outdoors here. Best stay on the wagon if you don't want to get messed up.
Rob Tremarco is playing Cade Thistlerot, the halfling rogue thief.
I mean, that is why I brought this traveling cloak.
Well, that'll help in the rain, I guess. Slogging through mud, you might need extra boots.
Okay, Prue will pipe up. Can you two pipe down? You're gonna attract every brigand in this whole countryside if y'all can't be quiet.
Lauren Sieg is playing Prue Frosthammer, the half-orc spirit barbarian.
Prue is a half-orc who wears chainmail that looks like it was dug out of some crypt and then refurbished to be practical. She carries with her a very heavy-looking flail and a mean mug at all times. She almost never takes her helmet off, though, so they don't get much time to see it. When her helmet is off, you can see that half of her face is badly burned from scars, and a bunch of hair doesn't even grow on the left side of her head, so she just shaves it off anyway.
No, and Cade is a halfling. He is clad in some dark leather armor and is, every so often there peeks out a little dagger handle, and on his back is a halfling sling staff.
Actually, I'm kind of frustrated that all we've had is mud and bumpy roads. I was kind of hoping we'd have some adventure. I was hoping defending the caravan would be more of an active pursuit.
Oh, please no.
Jason Mcdonald is playing Brixley Silverthorn, the Gnome Champion Liberator.
Well, this would be Brixley, who has a impressive set of armor and a rapier, and is a gnome.
Celes sort of, she's straightening up her equipment, and she starts to pull her hair back, her like almost platinum blonde hair, and starts to put it in a tight braid, which she coils up around her head in a little braided knot.
In the front of the cart is a old male elf named Cookie, who is aged even for an elf, and he's just sort of driving the cart, and the food has been acceptable this journey, nothing to write home about. He just sort of looks back over his shoulder as you guys sort of jibber jabber and fiddle about, and he just is like, ugh, great. If you guys think the mud is bad, wait until we get the Plaguestone.
I agree, and I'm gonna hobble up and sit next to him. These folks act like they've never seen the road before.
While you're traveling, you can see that this portion of Isgard is sparsely populated, consisting of small rural farms and isolated communities. It's temperate, with frequent light rains and the rich smell of damp earth wafting on the pleasant breeze. The trail you've been on has been winding through the lowlands, passing along streams and through small forests. The game in this area is only recently recovered after years of war, and they've come out of hiding. As you continue along, Cookie looks at you and just says, all I'm going to say is you guys better keep your wits about you in Plaguestone. The place is cursed, I tell you. Everything that can go wrong in that place always seems to go wrong.
Well, it does have a very unfortunate name.
Oh, Etran's Folly? Yeah, well, we just call Plaguestone. That's sort of its nickname. Well, you'll find out why.
Oh, so no one named it that on purpose. Oh, thank goodness.
No. With that, you hear Bort scream out, "Up ahead is Plaguestone!" he shouts from the front of the wagon. No sooner does the call fade from his lips than it is overshadowed by a series of long, mournful howls emanating from the woods to either side of the caravan. Moments later, you hear cries of panic as a pack of mangy wolves descends from the forest with teeth bared.
I'm honestly smiling because it's mangy wolves.
Play the thing.
Are you going to play Hungry Like the Wolf?
No, yes, he should.
Roll for combat!
Nice.
You are on the carts, and you see 3 mangy wolves bursting out of the edge of the forest. Prue is up first. What do you do? Now, the nice thing about combat in 2nd edition is pretty much everything is in action. So right now you're on the cart. If you want to get off the cart, it's going to be in action.
That's what I'm going to do. Prue's going to stand up. Well, I'm going to declare my 3 actions first. I'm going to use my actions for a stride, a strike, and then a trip. So Prue's going to stand up on the cart, casually adjust her helm, and step down, and then saunter up to the wolf. All right, let me make these attacks.
Well, it's 1 to get off the cart, and then 1 to stride over to the wolf. So you have 1 left.
Okay, fair enough. Then she'll just hammer it with the flail.
You swing and miss. You get a 13, roll 6. Not quite enough.
A little rusty.
This next wolf is up. And what is this mangy wolf going to do? The mangy wolf is snarling, and making wolfy type sounds. It strides up in front of, who's that? Cade, who's he's up there. So I'll give you a little bit of a bonus and cover as the wolf tries to jump up and bite at you. The wolf tries to bite you and miss. Gets a second. And this one is at -4 because it is a finesse attack and misses once again, even with the 18 because you have
cover. That was cover. That was cover.
And cover. So that was the wolf from the east. Now the wolf from the north strides over, lets out a big howl, and sees Celes is sitting there in the cart, being all dainty and worrisome, and the wolf tries to bite her as well. And even with the cover, ouch.
Ooh.
It rolls an 18 and bites you
Oof.
with 2 points of damage.
Don't spend it all in one place.
And then she tries to bite you again. Oh, and then we're going to get to see the new system.
Oh,
no,
no.
not yet. So even with she gets a -4 to hit. I'm going to say it's a female wolf. Blood manages to hit with the 22. It's really an 18, and even with the covers, the 16 still hits you.
Sure does.
It does 5 points of damage, so you're already half dead. That's a good way to start, but that's not the best part. As the wolf bites you, fleas are jumping from the wolf's back onto you. Give me
Oh.
2 fortitude saves. Oh. Well, the fortitude save of a 23, the fleas jump on you, and you're like, ah, and you like flick them off. But the second bite with your fortitude save of 8, you get bitten by the fleas, and they're scouring and scurrying on you. You are sickened by these fleas all over you. So what sickened does, you're sickened 1, and it will...
I believe it's a -1 to all actions, essentially.
Yep. You take a status penalty equal to this value for all checks and DCs. So everything you do will be at -1. However, you have a feeling that if you spent a little time trying to flick the fleas off, get it? Flea flicker? You can maybe remove them. She is now up as well.
Oh, stay away from me, wolves! She halo of light, sort of a corona of light, envelops her for a moment as she says, "Please, stay away from me," and moves her hand in a complicated gesture. She is casting Sanctuary on herself. So with Sanctuary, there's a protective energy, and any creature trying to attack me has to make a will save, and if they fail, they can't target me, and they waste their action. With her other action, just in case they do target her, she puts her hand out in sort of a defensive gesture, and a shield of energy, of yellowish, bright energy appears in front of her. Stay away, wolf!
Does that provoke an attack of opportunity?
If a wolf has an attack of opportunity reaction, they would be able to take it for either of those.
But typically it's just fighters nowadays.
Yeah, I don't know if wolves are fighters.
These wolves could have class levels.
What's this attack of opportunity thing you speak of? That doesn't exist in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Feel free to cast spells even though she is literally surrounded by wolves. So is that 2 actions? How much does it take to cast each of those spells? Is it only 1 action? Because a lot of spells take 2 actions to cast.
Yeah, so Sanctuary has verbal and somatic components, so it takes 2 actions, and the shield spell is only 1 action.
Aha, what does the shield spell give you?
I raise a magic shield. It counts as using a raise a shield action, and I get a +1 circumstance bonus to armor class until the start of my next turn. But it doesn't require a hand to use, so it just sort of floats in front of me for a bit. I can also use shield block reaction, but then that pops the shield and goes away for 10 minutes.
Cool. So with that, with your 3 actions, you are done. Brixley, you're up.
Brixley seems uncomfortably pleased by this turn of events because it means there are good deeds to do and foul beasts to slay. So he takes his sword, or his rapier, I'm sorry, steps to the front of the cart and attacks the wolf who attacked
From the cart.
Yeah, can I?
Look at that. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. So you stride up to the wolf. Oh, boy. Here we go. Oh, my God. You hit with a 22. Do 8 points of damage.
And he's going to try to attack.
He's dead. You killed it.
What?
Oh. Well, in that case, I will use my remaining action to get down off the cart.
There you go.
Because I was prepared to do a second attack, but if I don't need to, then I'll get down on the ground.
Ha! Blood is drawn, and foes are slain.
Foes are slain!
Mangy wolf next to Prue says, well, doesn't say anything. Goes, "Roar," and decides to attack. Snaps her jaws at Prue. 20 for 3 points of damage. You also,
You're rolling
Prue,
hot tonight.
give me that fortitude save as fleas are flicking onto you. 13. I got good news for you. The fleas have found a home in your armor. You now have a flea circus living inside you.
That's that. If that's good news, I don't want to hear the bad news.
Bad news is the second attack is coming your way, and the wolf misses. You want to hear the best news of all?
I'm not sure that I do.
Third attack coming your way at a -8. It misses. So you hear the howl of another wolf off in the distance, however.
On another piece of good news, I have a working title for the episode of Fleas to Meet You.
There we
That's
go.
awful.
Cade, Thistlerot,
All right.
you are up.
That's me. What kind of action would it take for me to acrobatically leap off into a flanking position with Celes?
One action, I believe.
Just one action if I make the roll, or is it one to get off, one to move situation? Or is that not a thing? Am I being too complex in my desires?
Let's look it up.
Because if it's one action to get off the cart, or does it eat up like difficult terrain, 10 feet of movement? Because I want to spend one action to move into position and 2 actions to stabbing.
Well,
I believe you
it's
can
an
use athletics to jump over there.
Yeah, it's an athletics check, and it's either a high jump or a long jump, and it's 2. I'm looking it up in the rules. It's 2 actions to do that.
Then forget it. It won't net me any benefits.
Yeah, it's really not going to get you anything better, so you can just do it manually. There you go.
So I get off, move.
But
I will attack.
But does she have a weapon out?
Yeah, she does not.
Oh, well, I'm doing it anyway.
Get down off the cart. You move to the wolf. Take your sweet time trying to attack it. And you hit and kill it.
Oh.
That is really unfair. I'm telling you that right now. Prue Frosthammer. You have a mangy wolf in front of you. And up to the north, you see a large wolf. It seems to be dripping a green ichor. And it seems much larger and much deadlier than the one in front of you. What do you do?
Well, I've got this. Since I have this mangy wolf in front of me, I have to deal with this threat. So I'm going to look at the caustic wolf with the green stuff. I don't have time for you. And I'm going to use intimidating glare so that I'll try to demoralize him and I won't have the -4 for not knowing my language. So I'm going to roll intimidate and try to beat his will DC. Looks like an 18.
18 will be enough. So you do get the -4 or you don't get the -4?
I do not get the -4 because it's a feat. I'm not using verbal components. I'm actually just glaring with my red eyes.
So yes, for those of you new to the rules, normally that would be a -4 since you're not speaking wolf. But because this barbarian is so barbaric, she manages to intimidate the caustic wolf. Good job. So the caustic wolf now has frightened 1, I believe.
Yes.
Good job. 2 more actions. What are you doing?
So, narratively, I'm going to do one thing, but it's going to use 2 actions. I'm going to attempt to strike the wolf. I got that backwards. I'm going to attempt to trip it with the flail and then come down with a strike on it. So I'm going to make an athletics to trip it. This is versus its reflex DC.
Let's see. 14 does not manage to trip the wolf.
Okay, well, I'm still going to try to strike it then.
Now, trip is considered an attack. So this second attack will be at a -5.
Okay.
That's right. Didn't like that, did ya?
Not very much. I missed that part in the rulebook.
Roll good. Oh.
That's actually a 5. That actually was a critical fail, by the way. I'm just letting you know. that really was a 1. But we're not going to do anything about that, shall we? Yeah, if you notice, all these new rules, they have keywords to them. And I'm looking right at the trip. And underneath trip, it has a little keyword called attack, which means that's considered an attack. So, yeah, go ahead and trip all you want. I don't mind if you're using that second one at a -5. Happy to oblige.
I believe you. I just missed that keyword, and I think that's what you got to look for in this new edition. Is you got to be watching for your keywords.
Oh, now I'm looking at all my keywords.
All right, this wolf. Actually, this wolf's not going to get that close. Caustic Wolf is getting up near Brixley, but not quite. As the wolf gets next to Brixley and the rest of the people, it leashes a terrifying howl. And all enemies within 30 feet can become demoralized. Dun, dun, dun. So let me roll my +8. So that's 17 versus your will DC. So all of you, it's your will plus 10. So does that beat everyone? Does anyone win? I'll put it this way. Did anyone not get demoralized by the howl of the caustic wolf?
I have a 7 will.
So 17.
So 17?
So
okay.
You make it.
I'm at 15, so I guess I'm demoralized.
I'm at 16, so I spooked a little bit.
Yeah, 15. I'm spooked.
So takes one to know one. There you go.
Does being frightened for that wolf affect his howling? Like, what does a frightened 1 condition make you do?
Well, frightened makes you run away, doesn't it?
No, it's totally
Probably
different.
not.
It's a -1 to all checks in DC. So if it's frightened, it actually would be you're right, 16. So who had 16? Was that Prue?
I had 16, yeah.
Doesn't help Brixley, though.
Well, Prue felt a shiver go up her spine for a second, and then she realized, what am I doing? I'm not scared of this thing.
I ain't afraid of no wolf.
There you go. Who's up?
Looks like Celes. She is still afraid for her life. She shakily pulls up her dress around her leg where she got bitten a couple times. And as she does so, she starts to run her hands just above the nasty wound. A brilliant halo of light appears above her head, and then light emanates from her hands into the wound, sealing it up. So that is 1 action for the Angelic Halo, which is her cool bloodline ability, and 2 actions for a heal on herself, and it heals for a D8 plus 8.
Okay, so you cast your heal. Do you want to roll to see?
Looks like 8 plus 8 is 13. Oh, plus 2 for the halo, so it's actually 15. So more than enough.
Whoa!
What? How much does that heal for?
Heal's pretty cool. It can be anywhere between 1 and 3 actions. If it's just 1 action, it's a range of touch, which is all I really needed. But it only heals for 1d8 hit points. If I do 2 actions, which is verbal and somatic, as she's muttering to herself, spell has a range of 30 feet, and healing a living creature, it increases the hit points restored by 8. So I did those 2 actions for heal after my Angelic Halo, which is verbal and only 1 action. So going back to heal real quick, if you do 3 actions, it's material, somatic, and verbal. I'm not sure what the material would be, but there you go. You disperse positive energy in a 30-foot emanation, and it targets all living and undead creatures in the burst. So you don't get the plus 8, but you still get to do basically a D8 channel, essentially, if you're familiar with Pathfinder 1.
So according to gym teachers, would be rubbing dirt in it.
Just rub some dirt in it. And the Angelic Halo, which is 1 action, gives you a +2 to all heal effects, correct?
Yeah, I gain an Angelic Halo. It's a light emanation within 15 feet. Oh, I guess there is no light keyword. We're looking at these keywords again. Your Angelic Halo with an aura that increases allies' healing from the heal spell, and you gain a +2 status bonus to hit points healed to your allies in the area.
I don't think Sickened would affect it, because it's not a check.
Yeah, it's not a check or a DC. So.
Brixley is up. Brixley has a new wolf to
Brixley's a little bit intimidated, but he's not going to let that stop him. So he's going to take some attacks against this guy.
Oh, by the way, the wolf is bigger than you.
That's all right. I've got a big sword and a shield for dealing with, well, a small sword and a shield
A
for
big
dealing with that sort
rapier.
of thing.
That's good to know.
Carry a big rapier and a small shield.
Move 1 is an attack.
15? Not even close. Whoosh. Misses by that much.
Move 2 is an even less likely attack.
16? Misses again.
And he's going to raise his shield with his third action.
Oh, the the coward. I mean, the valiant Brixley. Mangy wolf.
I'm using the tools at my disposal.
I wonder if the mangy wolf should trip Prue just to give her a little taste of her own medicine.
We can do it.
Nah. It's gonna attack you with a 2. All right, that missed.
He should have tripped.
He still would have missed you. Does its second attack to try to hit you. Misses again. By the way, it's trying to bite you. It's just doing the bite from the Itchy and Scratchy show. And
I think he's fishing for crits now.
he is fishing. He's fishing for hits because 20s are. It's not the same rules anymore. Remember, the rules are different now for crits. Now you're minus. What are you? You're sickened as well. So you have minus 1.
So I'm not sickened.
Yeah, you are. You had the
Am I? Okay.
you had the fleas on you.
The fleas.
Oh, okay. All right. When you said it was good news, I thought you meant it's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, you
All
got
right,
fleas on you. So let's see. That is minus 2 your status penalty for all your checks and DC. So I don't think that's against your AC, right? Barely misses you, as that's actually a 16. Sorry, 16, which would have hit you if you had a minus 1. Cade is up.
I'll save you, Brixley. I'm going to move in such a way that it does not provoke if he... I still think that way. Move up 4, then diagonal 1.
Okie dokie.
And I would like to sneak attack this fuzzy disease boy.
Caustic wolf. Snarls.
How
at
do
you.
I sneak attack?
You don't. You just do the attack, and then if you do,
I just do it and then roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I really wouldn't worry about that sneak attack if you rolled a 2. So,
Yeah. Well, I'm attacking again.
oh, well, hey now. Now, since you have a finesse weapon, that's only a minus 4.
Only a minus 4. We'll see. But he's also flat-footed.
So that gives you a plus
I'm
2.
flanking. Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah, flat-foot. For flanking, he becomes flat-footed.
So what is your sneak attack bonus, by the way, for damage?
A D6.
That sounds pretty D6.
You hit.
Oh, look at that.
And you do your 5 points of piercing plus 2 points of sneak. You sneaky bastard. Prue
That's me.
is up.
All right. This wolf's getting on my nerves.
Prue still is affected by the fleas, by the way.
So what kind of action is it to get rid of these fleas?
You believe if you scratch away, you might be able to remove the fleas from your body.
All right. I'm going to spend 1 action scratching.
You spend 1 action scratching and flicking them away, and you're no longer covered with fleas.
Good to know. Now, this wolf's getting on my nerves. So I'm going to go ahead and let my blood start to boil a little bit, which summons a spectral host around me and my weapon. And then I'm going to try to... So that's me going into rage, and then I'm going to strike him. Oh, I forgot to actually turn on the rage in the program.
Turn on rage. Bleep blorp.
So do your attack again, because now I wanted to keep in all your bonuses, because you get a plus 3 temp hit points, plus 3 to damage, and minus 1 to your AC.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, that's just not freaking fair. 27, which is plus a 20, more than enough to crit this poor wolf, and 19 points of damage, so it's dead. You still have an action left.
Oof.
What are you going to do? Didn't expect that, did you?
Take 1 action to flex.
I did 1 for fleas, 1 for strike, and 1 for the rage.
Oh, that's right. The rage was 1. I forgot about that. Okay.
Uh-oh.
The wolf decides to do something atrocious. The wolf jumps backwards behind Cade and then decides to let out of its mouth
Is it bees?
stream of green acid explodes from the wolf's mouth, coating Cade and Brixley. Both of you give me a reflex save.
Ew.
Brixley,
Rose.
24.
Nat 20.
24, because you are a little sick. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me?
What's up?
Yes.
That's three
The war
20s in a
machine
row. That's
of the tiny.
3 20s in a row. That's not fair. Okay.
It's a critical success, I would guess.
Critical success, so you obviously take no damage whatsoever. When the number's 20, increase the degree of success by 1 step. So, a 20 isn't necessarily a critical success. It's just 1 step higher. So you succeeded and then got critical success. Cade, on the other hand, got a critical success and then rolled a 20. So he got a critical success. So Jason, you got an A+, but Rob got an A++. So just letting you know, in case you
A++.
ever want to know about that, you know.
Need to try harder next time.
Celeste is up.
All right. Celeste is dealing with her next biggest problem, which is all these darn fleas. Now, what can I do to get rid of the fleas?
You can brush them off.
Oh, is that simple? Then she does so. She brushes them off.
You spend 1 action to interact with yourself and brush off the fleas. They are now gone.
Oh, fantastic.
And they're on Brixley instead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey,
Brixley.
wait a second.
Oh, my apologies, Brixley. I didn't. I'm sorry.
I'll just roll around in the acid and get rid of them that way.
Oh, that's a good idea. No, don't roll around. For her other 2 actions, she will take care of the last important thing to her at the moment, which is all this blood that's all over her dress and her cloak. She uses 2 actions to cast Prestidigitation and uses it to just clean away the blood.
Notice that Celeste still hasn't left the cart. She's up there, tidying herself, getting rid of fleas, making herself look pretty, healing her damage. Let all the plebes...
She almost died!
Let all the plebes take care of these wolves.
Just what I expected.
That's not her job to murder wolves.
Brixley.
Okay, I think I can get up there.
The fleas don't really take purchase. But between the fact that you're so short and you were under her next to the cart, some fleas definitely were dancing around in your head there.
Can't stand in my square.
Well, no, I also didn't want to potentially take an attack of opportunity if the big guy gets one.
Yeah. What is your movement? Because a lot of you have
20. I'm a little slower.
Yeah, your movements are much slower in Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
I have a 25 because I'm a little
So I step up into attack position and take a swing with my rapier, or a stab with my rapier, technically.
All right. Well, the 20 stopped, but you get the max damage. 11 points
11
of
damage.
Oh.
And then with my third action, I will raise my shield.
Cade.
All right.
Cade cannot be allowed to kill steal. I'm telling you right now. This wolf needs to do its full damage attack on one of you. Come on. Oh, come on. Stop flanking it.
Never.
It didn't
I'll never
do
stop flanking.
Anything
Literally
to
never.
you. It's just a wolf. It was just saying hi. And
Is that what it says hi?
It had some indigestion. It just happened.
Puke breath?
Yes.
It just had some halitosis. Be
That's
nice.
right. That's right. He didn't.
I don't tolerate bad
Some
breath.
liquid halitosis.
This is strike a blow for good hygiene.
I'll show
And
you.
you get the sneak attack because of its.
Correct.
Oh god. You hit with your 16. It hits because it has all that stuff and flat-footed and flanking.
And I do it again.
Oh man,
Take that, your stinky breath.
that's not,
Fine.
That's not nearly enough. The 12. It's not even a 12. An 8 doesn't even come close. Prue is raging. Rage against the machine. Rage against the light. The dying of the light.
Do it, Prue.
Rage
Do
against
it.
bad breath. So she's gonna snort a little bit and then just use her 2 actions to do a sudden charge, so she can stride twice and make a strike, all with 2 actions.
Celeste won't abide by bad breath either. It's why she won't stand next to Cookie.
Prue runs up, takes a swing for a 20, does 10 points of damage, and the wolf is dead.
The wolf is no longer here.
So with that, the 4 wolves are dead. The other wolves that were fighting the rest of the caravan up north flee into the woods with the caustic wolf dying with a churtling howl of and the other wolves seem to lose all hope. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna sit back in the cart like nothing happened.
So you took care of the wolves then?
We took care of him. Are you all right, Brixley? Is your mustache singed off?
No, I think I'm okay. He still chafes internally. He still chafes a little at the idea that he had to be saved. He didn't appreciate that.
Cade will, clap you on the back and sheath his short sword after wiping it off, and give you a little nudge. Let's get back to the cart.
Let's go take a look around and see if anyone else is injured or anything.
Bort and the rest of the caravan, after fighting their own wolves, comes over to you and looks at you all and says, you all okay back here? You guys okay with them wolves? You okay, lady?
No, I almost died.
Oh, do you need some healing? We could do a little healing. Is that all of you okay?
We're fine.
Oh, maybe my wounds weren't so bad after all.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened here. He sort of looks at the wolves and sort of looks over at the acid-breathing wolf, and he's like, that's mighty weird. Never heard of a wolf with acid before, but who knows what's going on in them weird hills? Sometimes the magic sort of leaks and weird things happen. But all right, I think we should go. Oh, wait a second. What happened here? And he kind of walks over to the cart and looks over to the area where Prue jumped onto the cart. And it looks like the cart took a little damage from the attack, or perhaps when you guys were jumping off the cart and doing your acrobatics. And it seems to have slid off the trail and into the mud. And he's like, looks like it's stuck. I think we're going to need a little bit of help here to get this wagon moving. Do you mind if you fellas and ladies please get off the cart so we can unstuck it?
Celes gingerly gets off, making very sure not to step in any puddles of acid or mud.
So you carefully get off, and sure enough, the cart appears to have slid right into a very large puddle of mud, and it's almost like cemented in. And wants to know, could some of you fellows, could you help here? It's going to take a couple of us to probably move this cart out. It's we're gonna help too, but I think we're all going to need to push. It looks like it's really wedged in there.
Make way.
I would be happy to help. I may look deceptively small, but I'm reasonably strong.
I will be cleaning my nails with one of my daggers. All right, well, go ahead. Push hard.
I have a kit for that if you'd like to use an actual nail file, perhaps?
Oh, well, sure.
With that, the 2 teamsters, Ulf and Ulf, who are twins, by the way, twin humans, they both stand next to Bort where the actual wheel is kind of ledged in there. In addition, Glunda Grapeleaf, she's a female gnome. She also takes position, and even Cookie and Tamil, a female half-orc. You never hear her talk. She's very, very quiet, but she also stands next to the cart. And Bort looks at you and says, okay, everybody, 1, 2, 3. Give me athletics check.
I'm gonna roll this.
Ew. Brixley apparently slips in the mud.
Oh, Brixley.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So, Prue manages to successfully pick up the cart and lift it. Everyone else manages to pick up the cart and move it as well. Brixley does exactly that. Brixley slips on the mud, falls face first right into a puddle, and is now fatigued from the exertion and getting the wind knocked out of him. That's a -1 to your AC and -1 to all your saves. The good news is the cart is free. Hurrah, hurrah. And Bort looks at you and pulls you up out from the mud, Brixley, and says, at least you put some effort into it. I'll tell you what. I'll buy you dinner in town for all your hard work. I'll buy dinner for all of you and tell you some of my famous tales.
Well, that's well worth a face full of mud then.
So with that, he's like, all right, let's hurry up and get back to the task. I want to get to town before nightfall.
Do you think there's any more of those wolves around?
Oh, I wouldn't worry, ma'am. I don't think those wolves are going to bother us anymore. Plus, we're only about an hour outside town. I'll pick up speed to try to avoid any more hostilities.
One of them wolves, it was a little sick, like a lot sick. Like
Yeah, I noticed
acid
that.
out of its mouth sick. Is that a Plaguestone thing?
I wouldn't worry about that. That just happens from time to time, I hear.
Oh yeah,
Vomitous wolves happens from time to time.
Vomitous acid wolves. Sounds like, I guess, a natural occurrence.
Sure. Until I tell you one of my stories, I once had a pet golden retriever who breathed fire once in a while.
That's also interesting. I didn't even think creatures like this existed in real life.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet? All right, everyone, let's mount up and get out of here.
So it worked. We were able to get the cart.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. You managed to successfully pick up the cart and push it, and you did such a good job that you picked it up so high that Brixley slipped and fell right into the mud and is now winded for the rest of the day. You're fatigued.
That's all I really wanted. I'm glad.
You're glad the cart got out of the mud, or you're glad that Brixley is now covered in mud?
Let's go with dealer's choice.
Can't it be both?
I'm going to try to not take that personally.
So, by the way, fatigued. We're throwing around a lot of new terms, and the thing I got all my sheets printed out here because I have no idea what most of these mean. You have -1 to your AC and saving throws, and you can only recover of fatigue after a full night's rest, by the way. That's how that works.
Well, hopefully nothing else will happen.
Master Silverthorn, since the cat, so to speak, is out of the bag about my magical inclinations, would you like me to clean the mud up off you? It will be quite a bit quicker than doing it so conventionally.
Sure, if you have something that would help with that.
Oh, yes, just a little rhyme. She sort of mutters under her breath as she makes a complicated gesture, and then she starts passing her hand over your body as light radiates from it, and it sweeps the mud away, and any other dirt and dust and trail muck.
Well, as if I just woke up in the morning. But of course now I'm still tired. I think a nap might be in order. But maybe after we get to town.
You look fresh as a babe and just as strong.
Hey.
Oh, he needs a good stiff drink.
Oh, by the way, something new. I'm going to have you keep track of your own experience points. I figured that would be a fun experiment. I never actually use experience. We usually do
Milestone?
Yeah, milestones are where you are in the story, but that's an adventure path. I'm not doing that for this. I'm going to be doing XP. And also the new system I like a lot. It's 1,000 XP per level. That's it. It's perfectly balanced. It actually works very elegantly. So the mangy wolves were worth 30 XP each, and the caustic wolf was worth 60 XP each. So there's 3 mangy wolves and 1 caustic wolf. How much XP does that equal?
1,000.
Exactly wrong.
150.
150. So you each have 150 experience. Look at that. Ding, ding, ding.
So you don't even have to divide it.
Nope. No more dividing. No more of that fun stuff. And the other thing that's fascinating is that if you are lower than the other characters in terms of average character level for the party, you get extra experience. So it's actually designed to help you keep up or catch up very quickly. I think it's beautifully elegant.
Well, that's pretty cool.
You get back onto the carts. You continue your journey through the woods. It takes only about an hour. And you roll into town a few hours before dusk.
If we have a few hours to get there, does that mean that we can do medicine checks to heal tiny amounts of damage?
It's 1 hour to get there.
Ah.
I'm not sure how long the medicine check would take. Treat wounds. 10 minutes treating 1 injured creature. The target is then temporarily immune to treat wounds for 1 hour, but blah, blah, blah. Medicine check. So let's see. Yeah, if you want to treat wounds while you're on the cart, I'll allow you to do that. You have healer's tools to do that?
I don't think I have anything, but I'm not a self-proclaimed healer, so...
Was anyone else injured during the attack from the other cart?
I mean, I'm bleeding right across from you, so, you know.
Well, I know you are. I was asking if anyone else was.
I did great. I am fit as a fiddle.
I don't think I got hit.
You took like half
From the
that?
other cart that fought wolves narratively while we took care of ours.
Oh, those? They're fine. Don't worry about them. They had minor scrapes, and they have no damage. They took care of it themselves.
Oh, okay. In that case, Ms. Frosthammer, I couldn't help but notice that you're bleeding. I have some magical talent. I don't really like to bring it up. People get kind of obsessive about it. Oh, no, it's obsessive about it, not prude about it.
It's just Prue.
I don't know that anyone's really been prude about it. But anyhow, Miss Frosthammer, if you wanted me to fix up that wound, I could probably do so.
It'd be useful.
Oh, well, I do appreciate being useful. Usually it's a whole routine. Anyhow, just hold still for just a moment, and she'll do the 2-action spellcast and heal a d8 plus 8, which I think should be more than enough.
Oh yeah, I only have 3 hit points worth of damage, so...
And a thing about her healing, even though it's magical, it still leaves scars. So.
Well, that way you're still cool.
Yeah, I'm sure Prue already has enough scars that you'd have a hard time finding that one.
It does seem to blend right in, doesn't it?
So you're now out of first level spells, because that's your third first level one.
I sure am.
Okay, just double checking. Make sure we're on the same page. Not that it's going to matter later, just talking. Anyhow, with that, you arrive to Etrin's Folly. You are arriving from the north, and as you go through the north of town, you see simple wood and thatch homes that look identical to one another are in a similar state of disrepair. A number of the homes clearly look abandoned, their roofs collapsed. In addition, you also go through large fields, obviously of turnips and more turnips. As you continue through, you go through the middle of town, and you go around an ancient stone with a large, flat, cylindrical rock standing 2 feet high with a hole in its center and a bowl-shaped depression off to one side. It is covered with moss, and I even have a picture. I just put a picture in the handouts for you to see what the center of town looks like. You continue until you reach your destination, which is the combination inn, tavern, and store, as this is a rather small town.
But cute, quaint, not nearly as dreadful as everyone had made it out to be.
Yes, welcome to Feed Mill, the place where you're going to be staying overnight. Bort and the boys start unloading the horses and all the supplies and looks at you and says, "Oh, everybody, welcome to Feed Mill." And you see a female halfling, come out of the stables and warmly greet Bort and his teamsters and starts taking the horses and looking them over. He looks at you and says, "I have a couple of errands to run, but I'll meet you here tonight for supper. Feel free to make yourselves at home. Maybe you want to check out the store, get something to eat inside." And with that, he takes off to do some errands. And meanwhile, the rest of the stable hands and caravan helpers are unloading everything and getting ready to settle down for the night. What do you do?
You've been listening to Roll for Combat, a Pathfinder actual play podcast. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com. You can also find us and play various role-playing games on our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social media platforms. You've been listening to Roll for Combat. Until next week, always remember that in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, anyone can be the healer now. I'm looking at you, fighter.